Sadly, the legendary bassist Anthony Jackson passed away on the 19th of October 2025. As for the reason for his death, I could not find any reliable public source that confirms the exact cause of his passing. Here's a summary of what we do know regarding his health. He had suffered a series of strokes. He was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. He had largely stopped touring, recording, or performing live by around 2017 because of these health issues. In the vast world of modern music, few names carry the quiet power of Anthony Jackson. He wasn't a singer. He wasn't a frontman. Yet, his sound shaped generations. His fingerprints are etched into the DNA of songs you've heard 1,000 times, though you might never have known his name. This is the story of a man who didn't chase fame, but instead redefined the instrument that carried it. Anthony Jackson, the silent genius behind the groove. Anthony Jackson was born on June 23, 1952, in the vibrant heart of New York City. The son of a musical family, his early years were surrounded by culture, the hum of city life, the rhythm of subway trains, and the pulse of jazz clubs echoing through Harlem nights. As a child, Anthony was drawn to sound, not just melody, but texture, space, and resonance. He began on piano, studying harmony and theory with an almost obsessive focus. But it wasn't until he heard the electric bass that everything changed. The year was the late 1960s, and the bass had begun stepping out of the shadows. For young Anthony, it wasn't just an instrument, it was an orchestra waiting to be unlocked. Jackson was captivated by the rhythm of James Jamerson, the precision of Carol Kaye, and the melodic depth of Paul Chambers. Yet even at 17, he wasn't content to simply emulate them. He studied orchestration, counterpoint, and composition subjects few bass players dared to touch. Music, for Jackson, was not entertainment. It was architecture. Every note had a purpose, every rest a meaning. In the early 1970s, Jackson began working as a session musician in New York. Producers quickly noticed something extraordinary, a precision so tight it seemed mechanical, yet carried the warmth of a heartbeat. His first major breakthrough came with the OJs. The year was 1973. The song, "For the Love of Money," that unforgettable hypnotic bass line driven through a wah pedal, was his creation. The line became one of the most iconic in funk and R&B history, its pulsating rhythm instantly recognizable. From that moment, Anthony Jackson's sound was no longer background, it was the backbone. Unlike many musicians of his era, Anthony Jackson never sought the spotlight. He lived a life of discipline, reflection, and simplicity. Friends describe him as intensely focused, a man devoted entirely to his craft. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe with the bell icon. Anthony kept his personal life away from cameras. He rarely gave interviews and almost never spoke about relationships or family. To this day, there are no verified public records of a wife or children, only the quiet certainty that music was his truest companion. His home life reflected his art, minimalist, precise, and deeply intentional. Those who visited him in New York recall rooms filled not with trophies, but with instruments, books, and music manuscripts. Despite decades of success, Jackson was never driven by wealth. He earned his living as one of the most in-demand session musicians in the world, recording on hundreds of gold and platinum albums. While estimates of his net worth vary, most reports place it between $1 million and $3 million USD at the time of his passing, modest by music industry standards, but reflecting a life focused on artistry, not luxury. He once said that the pursuit of tone and truth was his real reward, Not fame, not fortune, but mastery.